Hello students, welcome back. If you remember, we were discussing about the index properties of the soil. So we have completed specific gravity, water content, dry density and all. Today we will be further moving on to the consistency of soil. Okay, what is consistency of soil? Consistency of soil we will be doing today, particularly the liquid limit. Okay, what is the consistency types and like all we will be discussing today here. So let us see. What is consistency of soil? Consistency is defined as a term which is used to describe the degree of firmness of a soil in qualitative manner by using descriptions such as soft, medium, firm, stiff, hard. Means if a soil is given to you, okay, if a soil is given to you, suppose, now if someone asks you what is the consistency, okay, then what is the consistency means how soft or how lean or how hard the soil is, okay, how hard the soil is or how soft, or if it is flowing like a fluid or it is very stiff, you have to define that part, that physical behavior of the soil is the consistency. Okay. So it is relative ease with which a soil can be deformed, means obviously if the soil is having a high percentage of water, then you can understand that it will be having a liquid behavior. So liquid behavior means what? It will be easily deformed, it can be flowing as well. Okay. So in other case, suppose if the soil is stiff, means what does stiff means? Stiff means it is hard, means it will be having a shear strength, or it will be having a strength, or you have to apply some energy to break it or to deform it. Okay. So that is your consistency. In practice, the property of consistency is associated only with the fine grained soil, especially clay. Okay, it depends upon the water content. Obviously, I just now told you that water content is a very peculiar dependent for the consistency of soil. Besides that, you have mainly the discussion for the consistency is mainly for the fine grained soil. Why fine grained soil? Because in coarse grain, you can, if you remember, such as boulder or small pebbles, they are having a different property. They don't show cohesiveness or anything like that. If they don't show cohesiveness, even though they are dry or they are wet, they will have their own property. They will be scattering here and there as if there is no medium or there is no water or there is water. Okay. So in both the case, that will be difference. So we will be mainly concerned with the fine grained soil when we are talking about the consistency. Okay. So let us move forward. Now stages of consistency. This stages of consistency resembles to what are the different parts or different stages or states of the soil which we will encounter. Okay. This was first of all given by Atterberg. Okay. Atterberg, he was a scientist. Okay. So he gave the stages of consistency. So he defined 4 stages for a general soil. You can see the liquid state, plastic, semi solid and solid. What are these? Liquid, plastic, semi solid, solid. Now by name also you can judge what is the liquid state. You can see in this diagram, see this is the increasing water content. In liquid state there will be highest percentage of water, means the soil will have little amount of soil particles and instead it will have a large amount of liquid or water. What does this mean? This means that the soil will flow, it will behave as a liquid. Okay. Then plastic state. What does plastic state means? It means it is a state in which the soil can be easily deformed or can be easily molded into different types of shapes or whatever. The limit, this liquid limit, what is this liquid limit? This is the actually water content. Okay, this is a water content. Water content. This is a water content value, we can say. This is a water content value at which the state of the soil shifts from liquid to plastic, or we can say plastic to liquid as well. Okay, this is the boundary water content. Above this water content, what will be there? It will be in a liquid state. Below this water content, what will be there? It will be in a plastic state. Okay. Further, semi solid. Obviously, semi solid, you know what is semi solid means. It will have lesser amount of water content, so it will have more cohesiveness, more shear strength. Okay. So this is also the bifurcation between these is done by plastic limit. This is again a water content type. Okay. Above this plastic, below this semi solid. Again the shrinkage limit, this is the final water content, above which there will be semi solid and below which this will be solid only. Okay. Solid means you can say that as it is a dry state nearly. Okay. So these are the bifurcation, these are the solid, semi solid, plastic and liquid state of consistency. Liquid state: when a fine grained soil is mixed thoroughly with a large quantity of water, the resulting suspension in a liquid state and offers practically no resistance to flow. The soil has no shear strength. What is shear strength now? First of all, if you know, the soil actually fails in two ways. The soil generally fails in two ways. One is the settlement failure and another is the shear failure. Okay. Settlement failure, by name you can understand, the suppose this ground is here. Okay. Building is here. If the soil settles, some part of soil settles more, okay, and some part is not settling, then this will go down. So the failure of the building takes place. Okay. So one part is this, the shear failure. Suppose this is this land or ground. Okay. If the soil loses its shear strength, means the capacity to hold the load coming onto it and fails. Okay, it fails, then that will be the shear loss or shear strength loss. So in liquid state, the soil will be having no shear strength, means it cannot hold up any load applied to it, it will just move away. Okay, it will move away and let the load pass through it, something like this. Okay. It has a large quantity of water, as I told you. Plastic state: the water content of the soil suspension is gradually reduced to keep the consistency of the sample uniform. A stage comes when it is just offering resistance to flow. The soil has small shear strength and change from liquid state to plastic state. Means, as I just told you, it has no shear strength in the case of liquid, but in plastic state it slowly is gaining the strength or shear strength. Okay. And the water content is also gradually reduced, means the water content is reducing and the shear strength is increasing gradually. That part or that stage will be the plastic state. Now limits of consistency. What is limit of consistency? Just I told you these are the limits of consistency. Actually this one, this and this. Why it is limit of consistency? Because they demarcate two different types of states. Okay. Consistency states, two different types of consistency states are demarcated or bifurcated by this limit. Okay. So they are known as the limit of consistency. The first one, obviously from liquid to plastic, if we are moving, then that is the liquid limit. Okay. From liquid to plastic, it will be the liquid limit. In case of plastic state, the soil can be molded to different shapes without rupturing it due to its plasticity. If water content is further reduced, the clay sample changes from plastic state to semi solid state. This is the plastic limit, means the limit or the water content which divides plastic from semi solid. Okay, is the plastic state. Here there will be lesser shear strength. Okay. Here the shear strength will be comparatively higher. Okay, comparatively higher than the plastic state. Then when the water content of the soil mass is further decreased, the volume of the soil mass does not decrease any further, but remains the same. The sample changes from the semi solid to solid state. This is the shrinkage limit. Means for now you understand just that from semi solid to the solid state, the water content with the shrinkage limit. Okay. This part I will explain now in the diagram. Now this is the diagram. This is the main diagram or final diagram from which you can understand every concept for the consistency limits. Let us see. First of all, the diagram is between two things. One is the y axis and another is the x axis. Okay. So what is in the x axis? That is the water content. Okay. or you can say consistency limits. And what is in the y axis? The total volume of soil, okay, total volume of the soil. Here you can see this is the liquid state. Why is it here at the end? Because it will be having the highest water content. Do you understand this part? This is having the highest water content, so it is here. It will be moving on further, okay. And after that, lesser than this, just lesser than this, we have the plastic state, okay. And before, after that, semi solid and then solid. This is the one having very less water content, and 0 is also considered into this only, okay. What is this? This is the liquid limit which we were just talking about. This is the plastic limit and this is the shrinkage limit, okay. We can see what is, you can see this state and this state, means plastic state and liquid state are being demarcated or being bifurcated by this, okay. This is your moisture content or water content. At this place, which is the liquid limit, is the demarcating one. Here again plastic, here again shrinkage, okay. Now you can see one thing, that I just now told you that the volume decrement gets to constant. What means? You can see the graph. The graph is going something like this, okay. What does this mean? This means that from after the shrinkage limit, after the water content named shrinkage limit or the demarcation between them, the volume continuously increases. Why? Because at this place, this place, the soil will be fully saturated. This is the main part, okay. You have to understand is that this soil will be fully saturated at this point. What does fully saturated mean? If you remember, all the voids in the soil, which we used the 3-phase diagram, if you remember, this was the soil, suppose, okay, this was the soil, and here only water will be there. For all the voids will be filled with water only, okay. This is water only. So this was the fully saturated condition, okay. So in fully saturated condition, all the voids are filled with water. Now if you further increase the water content in the soil, or further increase, what will happen? It will increase the water content. This is constant. We are not adding any soil. What we are doing? We are adding water. Something like this, okay. Due to this, the volume is getting increased. Now I think you have understood this. And why? Now I think this also you have understood why the volume gets constant after this, because here the soil was fully saturated. Even though you know that the volume of the soil will remain constant, even though now we decrease this water, perhaps water can be only this much, okay. From that the same volume, then this is soil already, it's constant, okay. We have reduced the water. Here what will happen? This will be air will come in this place, volume will not reduce. So volume now gets constant, and slowly this water, if it's slowly we reduce the water, and then whole part will become air, okay. So which is this place, fully dry condition, okay. I think you have understood this part. So let us move forward. Just understand this diagram very well, so that you can get the clear concept of what is WS and why the volume after this does not change, okay. This is important part. Now let us see what is liquid limit or determination, how we determine the liquid limit. What is the liquid limit? This one, okay. This part is the liquid limit. We will now see how it is determined in the laboratory mainly, okay. This is mainly the laboratory method, Casagrande tool method and the cone penetration method. First of all, Casagrande. What is Casagrande? Actually, he was a scientist who designed the tools to perform this experiment, which will be used to find out the liquid limit. You can see the diagram. This, okay. This is the actual Casagrande tool. What happens here? You can see this is in the cross section, and this is the front part. You can see that this is actually container. This is a container. You can see, okay. Soil is filled here. Okay. Soil is filled here. Then with a groove, something like this. This type of shaped groove is there. We use this one. Okay, we use this one to cut a section like this here in the middle. So what will happen? The soil will be displaced here and will be displaced here. Okay, is it fine? Now once the soil has been displaced, what we do? We use this handle, we rotate it. Okay, I think you understand. We will rotate it like this. Okay, the apparatus is like this, then we will rotate it like this. Okay, into the board and out of the board like this. So what will happen? This will move up and move down. Its mechanism is something like that. It will go 1 centimeter up and again fall down, 1 centimeter up, again fall down, once you start revolving this handle. Okay, so what will happen? Once this is a hard surface, okay, hard rubber base. So once you start hitting it, what will happen? This will move up and fall down. So the soil will come closer, again come closer. It will continue to come closer till they again meet and again form like a single body, you can say. Okay, so that much blows, number of blows is counted here. What is the number of blows? How many times it is struck here? Okay, this is the general idea. Now let us see. Take about 100 gram of sand specimen passing through 425 micron sieve. Okay, mix thoroughly with distilled water in a evaporating dish to form a uniform paste. Means just take sand, add water and make a paste. A portion of the paste is placed in the cup of liquid limit device. I was telling the same. This is the liquid limit device, means the Casagrande device. Okay, this is the Casagrande device, means this one. Here we will now be placing the soil. Then level the mix to have a maximum depth of 1 centimeter. Means inside this also we have to maintain the depth only 1 centimeter. Okay, only 1 centimeter. The depth of the soil. Okay, then draw the grooving tool through the sample along the symmetrical axis of the cup, holding the tool perpendicular to the cup. As I told you, we will be cutting it like this. Okay, we will be cutting it like this, taking this and cutting it like this. Okay, now rotate the handle at about 2 revolutions per second and the number of blows are counted till 2 pads come together. As I told you, what we will do, we will just start revolving it like this and it will go up and fall out down, again go up, again fall down. So this will make, it is generally 1 centimeter. Okay, the height of rise is generally 1 centimeter, means it will fall from 1 centimeter height on this hard rubber base. So how much number of blows do we require to again get it in the initial position? We have to note it down. So, okay, so what we will do, we will alter the water content and repeat the operations, obtain readings in the range of 20 to 30 blows, 35 blows. Liquid limit is determined by plotting the graph of semi-log graph between number of blows and water content. Okay, so what will be the number of blows? This is the graph. Semi-log graph, I think you know. Semi-log graph is a graph in which one scale is having a log. Okay, and another is the normal. This is the normal one and this is the logarithm one. Okay, generally water content corresponding to 25 number of blows shows the liquid limit. What we will do, we will have a number of experiments and a number of blows we will having. We will plot it. Okay, suppose this is the log graph, something like this. We will plot it. Okay, suppose anything. This is the water content and number of, once we increase the water content, the number of blows will decrease. So something like this. Then according to 25 number of blows, we will find out what is the water content. This will be the liquid limit. Okay, this will give you the liquid limit. This is what the experiment was. Now let us see something about the liquid limit, how and what is being done in the graph. Okay, we will be talking about the graph. Liquid limit is determined by plotting flow curve on a semi-log graph with number of blows as abscissa or log scale and water content on ordinate. Okay, best fit straight line is plotted. Means, as I told you, this In semi-log, remember the log scale is on the x-axis, okay, on the x-axis. This one is having the log scale and this is having a normal scale. Here we will be having the water content and here we will be having the number of blows, n, it is represented by n, okay. So hence we got this formula, okay. What is flow index? Slope of the flow curve, which is relationship between the number of blows on the x-axis on a log scale and water content on y-axis, and the arithmetic scale is the in the liquid limit test. So this is your flow index. Here what is the happening? Suppose like this. So corresponding to one water content we have a 1 and 1, again this we have n2, okay, w1, w2, this is suppose n1, this is suppose n2. You remember this is log scale. So what will be the formula? W2 minus W1 upon log of n2 by n1, okay. I think you have understood how this came. This is actually log of n2 minus log of n1, okay. This can be written as this also. So this was it. Now here you can see this is the graph, okay. This is the graph, you can see here number of blows, this is the log scale, and again against the 25 number of blows they are finding the liquid limit. So this becomes the liquid limit for the experiment. Flow index indicates the rate at which this soil mass loses its shear strength. What happens is, if your flow curve becomes steeper, something like this on and steeper, or like this or like this means what? Even though you change a little, suppose here was 10%, now you do it 5%, okay. What will happen? This is n1, this is n2, not a huge difference will be coming, okay, not a huge. But in this case, if you take from 20 to suppose 15, you can see how much difference in the number of blows is coming, okay. This is the actual use of the graph, okay, flow curve you can say. So it's written there, flow index indicates the rate at which the soil mass loses its shear strength with increase in the water content. Higher the flow index, lower will be the shear strength possessed by the soil at any given water content. Soils with higher flow index also lose their shear strength at a faster rate, okay, at a faster rate. What does this mean? What was the formula for flow index? W1 minus W2, or I think W2 minus W1. Let's see in this only. W2 minus, one second. This was the formula for flow index. Here now what they are saying is, if IF is higher in the value, okay, if IF is higher value, this means the soil will lose shear strength quickly, or we can say it will possess lower shear strength, okay. How does this mean? Because once this value is higher, this means what? This is lower and these are higher, okay. These are higher means number of blows required is very high, okay. Number of blows required is very high. So what does this mean? That the soil is in a dense condition, at low water content, at low water contents, very high number of blows is being required to make them into it, okay. So this means that higher flow index, lower will be the shear strength possessed, okay. So this was it. Now let's see further. Now there is a second method, which is the cone penetration method. The cone penetration method is also a laboratory method, obviously, to find out what the same. Now let's see what is happening here. We have to find out the liquid limit, okay. Cone penetration, freely falling cone. What we are required with? The oven, balance, sieve, and obviously the cone penetrometer. This is the diagram of cone penetrometer, okay. This is the arrangement. You can see here is a cone, okay. This is the dial gauge. This will be getting inserted into this, okay. So what we do? We will be putting a soil here, soil sample will be putting here, and this will be just put as resting on the surface of the soil. Means if this is the container filled with soil, suppose like this, the cone will be placed just like this, okay, just like this. Then we will leave it. First of all, it will be hanged, okay, controlled hang will be done first of all. Then for 5 seconds we will leave it, means we will release it. So it will, due to its weight, it will be penetrating inside, okay, it will penetrate inside. So we will see how much penetration has occurred. According to that, we will be demarcating the liquid limit. Generally, penetration corresponding to 20 mm is seen, okay, means if this cone penetrates 20 mm into this specimen, then the water content of this soil in this case will give you the liquid limit, okay. Let us move forward. Okay, now let us see the procedure. 150 grams of air dried soil, thoroughly mixed portion of one passing through 125 micron is taken, okay. Distilled water is mixed to the soil, thus obtained in a mixing disc to form a uniform paste, okay. Again we take it and form a paste. Then the wet soil paste is transferred to the cylindrical cup of cone penetrometer apparatus, ensuring that no air is entrapped into this. What we do, I just show you the diagram. Just so again we will be transferring the soil into this part, okay. We will be putting the soil into this, okay, and how we will ensure that there will be no air void? We will just fill it in layers, just fill a part of it in, okay, fill a part of it. Now pat it on the ground, okay, pat it on the ground so that it will settle down more nicely and all the air voids will release. Again take another part and again do the same, and again take the another part and again do the same. This will be making it dense and without any air voids, okay. So where we were, okay, no entrapped air is in the process, so we will be doing it likewise. Finally, the wet soil is leveled up to the top of the cup and placed on the base of the cone penetrometer apparatus. Means if after placing the soil, if it is there is a bulge, means something like this, suppose the soil is like this, so we will strike it off, okay, this much part will be removed. Then we will have the proper soil. Now this much is only soil, this will be put in the apparatus or in this place, okay, we will put it here. Now the penetrometer is so adjusted that the cone point just touches the surface of the soil pat in the cup and the initial reading is to be taken. As I told you, the cone will be just kept like this, okay, just kept or put on the surface of the soil. Then what will happen, we will be taking the reading, that how much is the reading here, okay, first. Now what will happen, the vertical clamp is then released, allowing the cone to penetrate into the soil under its own weight, okay, for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, the penetration of the cone is noted into the nearest millimeter, okay, means we have taken the initial and again we will take the final after some time. Suppose it will be like this, okay, after 5 seconds. So again we will take the reading here, okay. Now the difference between those two values will give you the difference will be giving you the penetration value, okay. This test is repeated at least for 4 times to get the penetration value between this, and okay, the exact moisture content of each trial is determined. Why? Because this moisture content is what we are intended to find, okay, this is the liquid limit. So once we do the experiment, we take a part of the soil and find its moisture content, okay, we find its moisture content, continue this process, and then again a graph representing water content on y axis and cone penetration on the x axis is prepared. Means now what we will do, here penetration will be here, and here we will be having the water content, okay, and the graph will be plotted here, and again corresponding to 20 mm we will be finding out the water content. Means suppose here it is a graph, suppose, and 20 mm is here. So corresponding to this we will find out what is the WL or liquid limit. This is how the penetrometer or cone penetration method works, okay. So this was it. Now you can say refer to the question. Suppose what is the penetration method used for, what is the flow index, if you remember, just I told you, okay, and liquid limit. What is the liquid limit? Just describe liquid limit. For the next class we will be discussing about the plastic limit. Okay, what is the plastic? Just we have discussed the liquid limit now. Next class we will be discussing about the plastic limit and continuing our studies further. Please stay connected. Thank you.